Have you ever sat down to write a social media post and thought, what should I be talking about today? Most business owners approach social media this way. They treat every post like a random decision. But the most effective content creators do something different. They build what I call a posting stack. A posting stack is a series of posts designed around a specific goal. On today's episode, I'm going to share with you how you can do this easily and simply. And it just involves a little bit of planning. It's showtime. Let's get started. Creating consistent, engaging social media content shouldn't feel like rocket science. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs go from, I don't know what to post, to I've got this, using simple, easy to implement steps that make a big difference. I'm Maggie Carey, and welcome to the Painless Posting podcast. So what is a posting stack? A posting stack is a series of posts designed around a specific goal because not every post should try to do the same job. Some posts help people discover you. Some build trust. Some position you as the expert, and some help move someone towards becoming a client. When you understand which stack you're building, posting becomes much easier. And while this idea works on many social media platforms, it is especially powerful on LinkedIn, where people are actively learning, connecting, and doing business. What tends to happen is business owners accidentally mix their messaging. Now, although it's okay to one day share a tip, the next day share a quote, maybe a personal story or a promotion, they're not connected. They're not building towards anything. But when your posts are stacked together, they're reinforcing each other and they reinforce your expertise. They reinforce the problem you solve and they reinforce the value you bring. And that's where the posting stack framework comes in. Now, don't think that this is a complicated concept. It really isn't. There's a very simple way of handling this. And not only is it simple, but it helps you create your content so much easier. So there are 4 types of posting stacks, and each one serves a different goal. The first type of posting stack is the visibility stack. The goal of a visibility stack is simple: to help more people discover you and the topics you want to be known for. This stack works best when you're new to posting, you've been inconsistent, you're changing direction in your business, or you simply want to get back on people's radar. The purpose here is not to sell. The purpose is to help people recognize the problems you talk about and start associating your name with those conversations. Visibility is about opening the door. So what does a visibility stack look like? Well, if your goal is visibility and getting more people to discover you, here are some examples of what you can do. One type of post is introducing the topic. For example, one mistake I see business owners making on LinkedIn all the time. Post 2 would clarify a common misconception, something like, most people think consistency means posting every day. That's not actually the real problem. A third type of post for the visibility stack is sharing your perspective. This is where you explain how you see the issue differently. And a fourth type of post would be inviting a discussion. For example, you might ask a question. What is the hardest part of posting consistently for you? Each of these 4 posts build on the one before it and helps people start recognizing your voice. So see how we are combining them together. The second type of posting stack is the authority stack. The goal of an authority stack is to position you as someone who understands the big picture. This stack works best when people engage with your content but don't convert, you're attracting peers instead of prospects, or you want to be taken more seriously in your industry. Authority content shows people that you are not just sharing opinions, You understand patterns, you understand problems, and you have a method behind what you teach. Let me share some examples of what an authority stack would look like. Remember, the authority stack is positioning yourself as an expert. Post 1 of your authority stack post might be sharing an industry insight. For example, a shift I'm seeing right now in my industry is. The second post breaks down the common problem. Maybe here you explain why many businesses struggle with this common problem. The third post teaches a framework. You might introduce something like a process, a system, or a simple model. And the fourth post shows an example. This could be a real situation, a client experience, or a breakdown of how the framework works in practice. This type of stack builds credibility and helps people see you as an expert. The third type of posting stack is the trust stack. The goal of a trust stack is connection. This stack works best when you want warmer conversations, you want softer positioning, you want people to see the human side of your business. As you can tell, the trust stack is my favorite stack. Trust is built through stories, lessons, and shared experiences. People may understand what you do, but trust is what makes them feel comfortable working with you. Let me break down an example of a trust stack in action, because here your goal is to build connection and warmer conversation. The first post in a trust stack tells a story, maybe something that happened in your business or a moment that changed your perspective. Post 2 in the trust stack would share a lesson from that experience. What did you learn? What would you have done differently now? The third post would highlight a client moment. It's about them. Remember, it's about them, right? So you might share a small win, a breakthrough, or something meaningful that happened while you were helping someone. And the fourth post in the trust stack would be to extend an invitation. Remember, extend an invitation, not a sales pitch. So here, it could be something like, if this feels familiar to you, feel free to reach out. This stack builds familiarity and comfort. The fourth type of posting stack is the conversion stack. The goal of a conversion stack is where you move someone from interest to action. This stack works best when you're launching something, when you want more discovery calls, or you want movement in your pipeline, aka you want sales. Now, I know we always want sales, but you can't always have conversion stacks. So we want to be strategic about this. Conversion stack posts focus more directly on the problem your audience faces and the solution you offer. But even here, the posts work together rather than surprising your followers with a sudden sales message. So let's break down an example of a conversion stack, because your goal here is to generate inquiries or move someone towards working with you. The first post in a conversion stack could be surfacing the problem. You describe the challenge your audience is facing. You're relatable. You understand it. You know what it's about. That's the first post. The second post in the conversion stack would be exploring the cost of ignoring the problem. Yes, ignore the problem and see what happens. What happens if nothing changes? What happens if you don't address this problem? The third post introduces part of the solution. Now, we want to give extreme value, but remember, we have to save the good stuff for our paid clients. So you want to share a piece of your methodology or your approach, especially if you can give them a quick win. The fourth post in the conversion stack would invite them to the next step. So what might that be? Is it a resource, a workshop, or a conversation? The key is that the posting stack guides people towards action rather than pushing a hard pitch. As you know, I always love to shortcuts, and I share them with you at the end of almost every episode. So here's the shortcut for today as it relates to posting stacks. Instead of asking yourself every day, what should I post? I want you to switch it up and say, which stack am I building this week? Once you know the answer to that, your posts become easier to plan and more strategic. So, I have tons of resources. I leave them in the show notes below. Make sure you reach out to me if you have any questions. Now, here are some tactical takeaways for you that you can use right away. First, choose a goal for your next week of content. Are you trying to build visibility, authority, trust, or conversion? Second, pick one stack and commit to it for several posts. Let your content build on itself. Post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4. Third, stop trying to make every post do everything. Different posts have different jobs. So make sure each post has a specific goal in the stack and that they join together and follow each other sequentially in an order that makes sense and that drives to the action of the fourth post. So today we talked about posting stacks. Your posts should work together. You can build a visibility stack, an authority stack, a trust stack, or a conversion stack. When your content stacks together, your message becomes clearer and your social media becomes easier to. If you want help building a clear strategy for your social media, check out masteryoursocialmedia.com. I created a resource that walks you through creating content step by step. That's masteryoursocialmedia.com. If you're enjoying the Painless Posting podcast, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps other business owners discover these shortcuts too. Until next time, keep your posting painless and your engagement powerful.